The purpose for this portion of the tutorial is to show you how you can go into Angel and see an outline rendition of everything that you have under Lessons. If you're like most faculty who have created courses inside the Angel Learning environment, particularly inside the master, you've got so much stuff and it's buried inside of folder after folder after folder. And what I'm going to show you is going to keep you from having to go inside each folder just to see how things are organized. First thing you need to do is pull up a course. I'm going to pull up my Sandbox course to use as an example. Then click on Lessons. And this is where we make a few changes. If you click on the Preferences toolbar, you're going to put a check mark inside the box next to the term index. Save those changes. When you do that, you're going to notice in the upper right-hand corner, the word index will appear. And if you click on that index, what you get is this really, really awesome list of every folder, and then indented is everything inside that folder. You see the folder and what's inside the folder. It will be indented. This is just my Sandbox course, so there's not a lot of content. Yours, however, will show the folder and then lots of things underneath each folder, and you'll have to scroll probably a long way. You can print this and you'll have in your hands a copy of the outline of all of the items that are located in the Angel Learning Management System for that particular course. How is this beneficial? Well, it gives you your entire course layout in your hand, so you can then take that to Blackboard and recreate it. Okay, now we're going to move into how do you make your new Blackboard course look like the old Angel course. And actually there's a question there. Should you do that? And you may be thinking, well, of course I want it to look just like my other course, and I'm going to challenge you on that in just a few minutes. So let's say that you already have a master of some kind on your when you log into the Blackboard Learning environment, and we're going to go into my Sandbox course, and this is what I have. Looks like I have, by default, I have homepage and announcements, and that's really it, except that I've already created a folder, even though it doesn't look like a folder. It's a holding place. I'm going to refer to it as a folder called Students Start Here, where I'm going to put all of the general stuff like the syllabus and the course outline, and maybe a document with all the deadlines that they can print, and maybe I'll write a letter to the students telling them my expectations inside the Students Start Here area. But more importantly, the question is, how do I make the Angel course look sort of like the Blackboard course? And I'm selecting a course here, and I've already turned on the index. I'm going to click the index for this course, and you can see that there are lots of folders, and each folder has content in them. And I'm just going to do a quick scroll so you can see the amount of data that we're talking about here. In this course, students are expected to do a lot. They read a lot, they listen to PowerPoints, they listen to videos, and they have assignments and homework and exams. And I got to see again all of this because I clicked the index hyperlink. So this is pretty much the outline of this entire course. It shows me all the folders and shows me all of the items that are inside this particular course. We're not going to rebuild this entire course, but I'm going to create a few things to show you how this works, and you should be able to take it and run with it. So let's say, for instance, that we don't want the students to have to go deep into folders. We want them to be able to find whatever it is that they're supposed to do very quickly. I know for a fact, because I've been inside this course, that this what I'm pointing at now is the equivalent of the Students Start Here folder. And so you see the syllabus, and there's a course outline, and what you can't see is there's also a list of due dates located under that untitled item. And then there's a general discussion board where this instructor asks students to post their questions or concerns so that everybody can see the questions and the concerns and can learn from them. And then there's a quick summary of the due dates, and then we go right into assignments and activities below that. So if we follow this same idea, what we're wanting to do is sort of recreate this over here. And we can do that. Remember now, the student does not see this course management section. So let me show you what it looks like to a student really quickly. See there? The student does not see that course management section. That is for faculty only. I'm going to exit the preview and go back to looking at it as a student. What I just did by clicking the eyeball is I went in to look at it as a student. You can do that in Angel as well. You probably already know how to do that. So right now the goal is we want to create everything that's in Angel. We want to create over here, just holding places. We won't necessarily bring all the data over quite yet, but we're going to create holding places. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's easier to print the Angel part out so that you have it in your hands and you can write on it. And it's also sometimes helpful to just do it out on paper first, because the creating part is easy. That takes no time at all. But thinking it through the way the student will think it through is the hard part. And let me tell you, order means everything to students. Listen to what I'm saying. Order. The order that things appear in the course needs to be very intuitive for the students. Order means everything. So let's assume excuse me, let's assume that we're going to start with this discussion board item. The way that we add that and create that on the left hand side in Blackboard is it's going to be a tool link. There are two things that I'm going to show you. One is a content area, which means just like a folder, and you're going to put things inside this content area. The other thing is the tools area, and you'll notice if I show you everything that you can do inside the tool area, you'll notice that there's just lots of things. You can do a discussion board, you can do a journal, there's just all kinds of things that you can put under this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this discussion forum, recreate the discussion forum that this faculty had. And it was a tool item. And I'm going to call this Discuss Your Questions here. See, they don't have to know that it's a discussion forum until they actually go there, though you will probably want to tell them in a message to your students. The other thing you want to know is that immediately by default the link is hidden from students, and you can show the link to students by mousing over the item, clicking this drop down arrow, hide the link, show the link. If you hide it, they can't see it. If you show it, they can. Okay, so we created the discussion forum. It's a board, actually. Now we're going to create the forum inside here, and we're going to say, please post your questions here. I will answer the questions here as well. You might come up with something a little more nifty. I'm going to click submit, and that gave them some instructions. So what the student will do is when they click on discuss your questions here, they'll get this. They'll click on it and they'll create a new thread. Now I'll go ahead and tell you that if you're going to use a discussion forum any place inside there, make sure that you give some kind of instructions in the description area to make a post. Please click the Post New Thread button. Okay. Plus we'll have some instructions for them on how to do this. So when we click on it, they will create thread. I'm just demonstrating how it works. This is my first thread, and the information they actually want to type here. Here is my question. Can someone help me? Then of course all the students will see that something has been posted, and maybe the students can answer their own questions or answer questions for each other, or the faculty member can go in. So in essence what we've done is we've got a holding place like a folder that will hold the syllabus, course outline, calendars, those kinds of things. And now we have a discussion forum that matches the discussion forum that we had for them in Angel. Okay, there's the discussion board. We're not going to do a quick summary of the due dates at this point because I would put that under the Student Start Here folder. But the next thing we're going to have is Lesson 1, Chapters 1 and 2. Now, you're not going to put the content in there yet, but we got to have a place to put it. So we're going to create a little folder, and I'm going to say Lesson 1, Chapters 1 and 2. So there, we've got a holding place for that now. And remember that it's automatically not available to students, so you have to say show link. Now it's available to students. The next one, the next folder that we need to create, Lesson 2, Chapter 3. It's a content area, Lesson 2, Chapter 3. By default, it's not available. Show link. Now it is. So we have Lesson 1, Lesson 2. We're going to go one more to make this point. Lesson 3, Chapter 4. Lesson 3, Chapter 4. Now notice that as I'm creating these, I'm being consistent. I'm spelling out the word 1, 2, and 3. I'm giving numbers on this side, but I'm consistent all the way down. I need to show this link, and what you would do is you would create folders for every one of the folders that you have in Angel. And I want to talk to you about the difference between using lesson or standards folders and using weeks. Please stay away from using weeks. The reason why I urge you to stay away from that is because when we have a 15-week term, or we have a 10-week term, or we have an 8-week term, you will forever be having to rebuild these courses each time. If instead you will just do it by lesson, or if you will do it by standards, this is something you need to give some thought to. If you do that, then the only thing you really have to adjust is the calendar. And you can tell them to cover X amount during week 1 in your calendar. You can tell them to cover X amount during week 2 in your calendar. And it's a lot easier to change out a calendar in a Word document or a PDF document than it is to rebuild the course each time because the weeks don't match. So this should give you an idea as to how to get started. Again, all we've addressed so far is how to organize the course and how to build folders in Blackboard that will hold your content. And we've talked about how order means everything to students. So I'm going to stop here and let you build all the folders that you need to build inside of your master. And in the next tutorial, we're going to pick up from there.